1.2 update, and because of the update, we're going to be flying that from MMTO to MMTM is where we're going to be flying at today, as I'm sitting here trying to get my act together here. I think it's working, so we'll just go with it here. So anyway, so what we got going on here is, like I say, is the Carenado's version 1.2. The only difference between 1.2 and 1.0 when I initially bought this airplane over at the Carenado website is the fact that they removed one of the one of the doors that you were able to articulate. It was the luggage door, which I'm assuming went right next to the entrance door, which is right there. And they never did finish it, so they just removed it. So maybe the real world airplane did not have it. I don't know. But at any rate, so we're going to go ahead and get on in the airplane. They got rid of that, and they just probably did some under the hood updates. Now, the reason why Carenado did a version 1.2 update is because of it being released on the xplane.org store. And that's the reason why they did the update. They just took whatever the updates that they had, and then they just did it and released it on the xplane.org store. So, again, that's the only thing that I've seen change, that and the fact that right over here, as we come over here inside the cockpit, the fuel consumption gauge now works, whereas version 1.0 did not work before. The bus ties, the switch right here is still a dummy switch. It says right engine generating bus ties. That's still a dummy switch. It still does nothing. I have not been able to make it work. And I'll go ahead and turn on some things while I'm over here on this side of the cockpit here. We'll go ahead and get in our side of the cockpit. And same over here for the left engine, the left generally bus ties. I'm assuming the logic for this, like I said in the previous video, is the logic was that you would turn the generators on right here, get them going, and then you would turn these switches on, which in turn would give power to the bus, and in turn would start all your electronics. And then you have your emergency one right here, which would feed battery into the primary in case there's a problem. But this right here is just a dummy switch. It doesn't do anything. See, I can turn on right now, even with the switch off right here, nothing happens. So I just think these switches are just modeled here just to look pretty, but don't have any functionality. So those are pretty much it since version 1. This version 1.2 versus 1.0 that I had originally. So anyway, so that's pretty much the size of that right there. So that's pretty much the overview. What I did to be able to get this airplane going again, I've been having some drama with 11.35 Beta 2. So what I ended up doing is I actually ended up just trashing my X-Plane install, except for a few key things, mainly my airplanes folder and my my custom scenery folder. I left those alone, but I pretty much shelved everything else. And by me doing that, I was able to reinstall X-Plane, and so far everything appears to be working. No problems now. Also, too, OBS is now working. Now, if I do get a crash to desktop, then obviously the stream will end, and that'll be the end of it. But hopefully I will not get a crash to desktop, because I do everything in progression. Once I start, I have to go through to the very end, and that's just the way it is. And hopefully I'll be able to get this flight done before my wife gets home, because that will create drama as well. So anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and turn on our button. Now we got the noise of the caution light, and then we're going to go ahead and turn on the GPU, get some power to the GPU. Now you see we went from 24 volts to 28 volts, so now we know the GPU is providing power, and we're not taking any load from the battery. We'll go ahead and increase all of our stuff here, get everything going there, and we'll go ahead and get this thing set and ready to go. We'll go ahead and move from feather all the way to ready to fly, and we'll go ahead and start. Now you've got two ways of starting the engine. You can just move these levers up right now to run mode, and then go over here and start each engine, you know, right and left or left to right, wherever how you want to do it. Usually I do the engine that's furthest away from the passengers, which would be the right engine first, because the passenger door, in case of an emergency, is on the left hand side. So that's my logic in always starting the right engine first. Obviously, if there is a situation where the egress, the fastest egress, is going to be on the right side, then you would just do it backwards. That's my logic into it. Whether it's accurate or not, that's how I roll with it. So that's how I go with it. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and turn on the position light and make sure the beacon light is on, and it is. And like I say, a lot of times I tell people, if they want to watch my videos, watch them at 1.25 or 1.5 springs, because I do talk fairly slow on certain parts of the video, because I get distracted. You know, I see a new shiny and then I go to that new shiny, so it's my bad. That's just how my nature is. It's not a bad thing, just it is what it is. So anyway, so we're going to go ahead and get this thing ready to go. We've got to go ahead and put in our, I think I may have already, the reason why I turned on our powers, because I want to go ahead and turn on our avionics switch so we can get into the GTN 750 and make sure, I think I already put in our route in already. So we'll go over here and go to catalog, and this is MMTM to MMTO, and we are going from MMTO to MMTM, so we're just going back. So I'm just going to go ahead and load this one up. Oops, I didn't want to do that. That was a mistake. So we'll go ahead and invert. There we go. That's how you fix that problem. So I'm just going to go ahead and re-invert this, and then we'll just go ahead and head on. And then our altitude, our landing is going to be at 79 feet. So 79 feet, boom. And then it's going to go ahead and calculate. I'm going to say it's going to calculate everything, because I'm going to change this from 8,500 feet. That's where we're at an elevation of 8,500 feet roughly right now. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this to, and we are going 154 is our heading. So we're going to go odd. So let's go 15,500 feet. Well, how much are we going? We're going 200 nautical miles. What are we going? How fast are we going? How far are we going? Yeah, I think it was 200 nautical miles. So yeah, 15,500 feet's fine. I mean, I could go 17,000, but we'll go with that height. Not a big deal. And of course, it automatically changes our altitudes for us. So having the start and the end, and then everything in the middle gets calculated out, which is cool. That makes things a lot easier. And we'll go ahead and go over here, restart our flight time to 0. And we'll go ahead and turn on that. Our fuel that we have in the tank today, let me go ahead and jump on over here. Here's where we're going. We're going from MMTO in Mexico all the way to MMTM, which I believe, okay, come on, mouse over. That's, Tampico. And where we're at right now is Lobos, okay, we're there. Toluca, Mexico. There you go. I'm going to say that. Toluca, Mexico. I can say that. And Tampico. So we're going Toluca to Tampico. That's where we're going. And how much fuel we got? We got 162 gallons. Let me go 50%. I'm going to go ahead and add some fuel. Let's go ahead and add some fuel just to CYA. And if you guys don't know what that means, cover my ass. I always like to cover my ass, because that is the right way to do things. And sometimes, as you can see, it will not, even when you do that action to refill in FSEconomy, sometimes it does not want to do it. So you got to go over here and do it again. I don't know if that cost me money. Oops, I was wrong. 183 gallons. So sometimes you got to redo it over again, and then it'll finally take. So we're good to go there. We've got 7 passengers. We've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we can actually add one. So let's go back over here. Oh, we've got 6. We've already got 5. Yeah, see, we've already got 5 assignments. So we got to get rid of one. Okay, so we're going to boot your ass out. Okay, goodbye. Have a nice day. We're going to come back for you later. Sorry, we're trying to make maximum money as possible here. because that's what it's all about, is making the maximum money possible. So we need to add a twofer. And do we have a twofer? Yes, we do. We'll pick this one. Okay, so we're going to add that one. So now we got a twofer. And now we've got 5, and now we're going to make $5,700. And we got a twofer. So now we got 4, and then 3 is 7. So we got 7 passengers. We filled up the airplane with passengers, and we're under the 5. You know, we're right at the cap. We're up to 5% cap. Now, what I mean by 5 assignment cap is, and this is going to be flown by Solo Swings, my airline, in FSEconomy. So then that way, and I've got it set to 50-50. So in other words, half of the earnings, half of this $5,700 goes to me as the individual pilot, and half of it goes to the company. And the reason why I have such a high one right now is because I am trying to build the finances up in the company, and I can't see if anybody's in here. I'll go over here with this. Okay, so far nobody's here in the chat, so nobody's watching me. All right, anyway, and that's fine. So right now, well, I've got it set up where I can, I'm trying to get money up so I can buy airplanes. And once I buy airplanes and people have things to fly, people don't want to do the grind. That's what it really boils down to, is that, individuals, a lot of people don't like doing the grind to work your way up to get to a better status or to a better airplane. So what I am trying to do, and what I'm trying to provide for Solo Swings on FSEconomy, is that if somebody comes into my airline or charter service, basically is what it is. It's really not an airline, it's a charter service. They come into my service, I can just sit there and say, hey, I've got this airplane for you. You can go ahead and take it. You've got 2 hours of rental time before it has to go back. So then that way somebody else can take it. I'm going to put those kind of restrictions in there because I want everybody if I have more people than I have airplanes, we've got just like in a real world airplane club, you in the real world, you have to divvy the time up between your club members. And so I'm going with that same mindset of okay, you got 3 hours or whatever, you have use for that airplane for 3 hours. 3 hours should be pretty good for you to be able to do your thing. And of course, now I'm getting a phone call, and I got somebody coming in the chat here. So now I got to answer my phone. So I will be right back here. So I'm going to minimize myself, and I'm going to hit down. So just enjoy this for a minute. I'll be right back. Well, that just sucks, because now I have to bail. Well, I'm glad I didn't actually. I'm going to do the flight. I guess I'll just have to do it later, and that really sucks. I'm sorry, guys. My wife just called me, and so there's some stuff I have to take care of, and that sort of thing. So, well, at least I went through the process with the version update with OBS, because now our OBS version now is 2.3-2.1. So at least that's working. At least it hasn't crashed the desktop yet. And X-Plane 11 with the update. With me trashing my install and reinstalling it, appears to be going. So again, I apologize. I'm going to have to bail on you because, like I say, again, I got to take care of some stuff that my wife just informed me. So it is what it is. So anyway, I will just regroup, and I will start this tomorrow morning, and then we'll make it. And now she's calling me back again. So you guys take care, and you have yourselves a great one. This is Dion Soul, and we'll regroup and do this again tomorrow. Take care, guys.